Okay, I'm starting the recording. Yeah. Here, whatever we can see, this is the front end. When we click on this link, the data will bring from somewhere else, right? So that is the back end. Someone is okay. So there are two parts. One is front end and back end. So to develop the front end technologies, there is the Java and .NET, PHP. In some cases, there is JavaScript. JavaScript can be used for backend as well as front end. Okay. Okay, we have developed this application by using front end technologies. For example, I am saying this is the PHP application. By using PHP application, we have created the front end. Okay. Whenever we are clicking YouTube or something, we are clicking some option. We are giving some. See here, I have clicked the TRSRTC. I have given from where this data brought from backend. Backend is database. Okay, the data will store in the database. Data means anything. Data contains the information. Anything. What is data? Data is information. Information contains anything, images, numbers, mobile numbers, email IDs, and if you see here, this information, RTC bus tracking information, how many buses are there, and from where the timings of the buses, everything contains the information. Means data. Where we will store the data. Data can be stored into the database. Okay. For database, how many databases are there? There are so many databases, but mostly popular are Oracle database, MySQL database, MS SQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB. These all are the databases. There are so many databases. Okay, these all are the databases. So these are the front end scripting. These are the back end. So now in our session we will discuss about the database. We are not going to the front end technologies. Database. In database also we are going to see about Oracle. Okay. Whenever we are saying database, DBMS. What is DBMS? Anyone know the full form?
Database management system.
Database management system. Okay. DBMS means we need to store the data in database and we need to process the data. Okay. Means if you say any database, one is storage. For database also there is two parts. One is storage, another one is processing. There are two parts. If you take any database, there are the two parts. Storage means is someone unmute. Could you please mute? Okay. Storage means here we are seeing the Oracle. But for processing something should be there, right? For that there is a languages SQL and PLSQL. Okay. This is the storage purpose and this is the processing purpose. When we say MS SQL database, there is the SQL processing purpose, there is SQL and TSQL. When you say MySQL, the languages are SQL and here also there is some programmatical language PLSQL. So for every database, SQL is mandatory. This is the structured query language. PLSQL is the processing programming language. Okay. So when you say which is the top database, we can see here DB engine rankings. Every year they will update the here details. So when you see in DB engine rankings, Oracle is in the first place. This is the stable database. Okay, Oracle is the first place, and second one is MySQL. This is also Oracle Corporation product. Oracle and MySQL both are the Oracle Corporation products. Oracle Corporation established on 1976. From 1976, they will bring the Oracle database. Okay, so if you see some other databases, Microsoft SQL Server. This is the product for the Microsoft company. And if you say IBM, IBM has own database, IBM DB2, Cassandra, MS Access, like this. Hive. This is from Hadoop technology. Amazon is having his own database, Amazon DynamoDB. Okay, these are all the databases. Google is using Google BigQuery. Now we have seen, right? So here in Google only we are searching for the DB engine rankings. But for that there is one Google's own database, BigQuery. Okay, like these are the databases. But see the points wise. 1262 points for the Oracle and MySQL is the 1228. These both are the Oracle Corporation products only. And when it comes to the Oracle, this is the licensed software. If you want to install, if any organization wants to install this Oracle, the license should be required. But MySQL is the open source database. There is no license required for the MySQL database. Okay, this is about the Oracle. Now, why Oracle? Why to store the data? Why to store the data? Can anyone tell why to store the data?
For security purpose.
And
Every company has their own inputs and outputs.
okay, and
To call or run the data
okay, means for
directly
example,
from database.
in our mobile phones only, we have images. Some images are there. Okay, we need to store these images, right? Where we will store? So if in mobiles we are storing some memory cards, everything. Okay, if the memory card is lost, then we want to take the backup. Where we will store that backup? So for some external pen drives are there. External pen drives. For cloud purpose, there is Google Drives. We are storing the data. Why we are storing? Why we are
For
storing the
backup.
data? Backup.
Backup.
Why to backup?
In future.
Yeah.
For
So
threat of losing data.
Whatever we want.
to retrieve the data in future.
Yeah.
To retrieve the data in future. So this is the data. Okay. So in terms of the database, there are three types of data. One is structured data. Second one is semi-structured data. Third one is unstructured data. Structured data means tabular format. Semi-structured means XML formats, JSON format, like this. If you have any IT background, so they can understand what is XML and what is JSON. If you don't understand also, it's okay. I'm telling for the knowledge purpose. Okay, what is unstructured data? Unstructured data means when you take, for example, Uber cab is there. Okay, Uber cab. So we are sending the request to the Uber. We have booked one cab. Okay, that is the live processing. Live processing. Whenever we have booked the Uber, so the request will go automatically to the Uber server, and once it hit to the Uber server, it will check the available cabs nearby your location. That is the live processing. Okay, this won't contain any structure. Directly it will hit to the Uber server, and from Uber server, whatever the available cabs near to your location, that will check, and that will process the data, and your driver will accept after that. This is the live processing. Okay, now here Oracle supports only structured data. Only structured data, Oracle. Okay. Now, in recent versions of Oracle, it's supporting structured data as well. Structured data means RDBMS, relational databases. So here we can see the database models. If it is relational database, it will support only structured as well as semi-structured. Relational means structured as well as semi-structured. When we say document database, this will support the unstructured data. So for unstructured data, nowadays MongoDB is the popular for unstructured data. Okay, but most of the companies, so the Oracle, banking industries, telecom industries, insurance industries, airline industries, and okay, these are the main industries. All industries are processing only unstructured data, because if you take banking, so the daily we are doing credit debits in our account. Okay, we are withdrawing 100 rupees, and we are again depositing 100 rupees. The transactions all are unstructured data only. So this is not required the live processing. And when you say insurance also, if we book any insurance for your motorcycle, or if you book any insurance for your car, so that needs to store in database. That is not required the live processing. Airlines also, airlines ticketing system are there, and like this trains, for all travel bookings or hotel bookings, everything will comes under the structured data only. They don't want any unstructured data. Okay, they don't have any unstructured data, they don't want live processing. This everything, all industries are having structured data. For this they are using mostly Oracle database. Now why only Oracle? I'm not saying only, why Oracle? High availability. The main reason is high availability. High availability means there is nodes. In database, there is term called node. There is one node. Okay. In this node, the operations are going on. All data stored in the node one. Okay. For example, suddenly this node one is crashed. Then what will happen? The total data will be lost. So for this, the Oracle brings some backup mechanism by using RAG, Golden Gate, Data Guard. So these are the backup mechanism. Now recently it has introduced Exadata. So these are the backup mechanism. Why this? If node 1 fails, immediately node 2 will start. So for some process, ATMs are there. Okay, if ATM will not work for 5 minutes, so the total transaction will be stopped. So if there is any ATM, they don't want to take 5 minutes downtime also. For that, they are using high available softwares. High availability means if any node 1 crashes, immediately node 2 will start. If node 2 crashes, immediately node 3 will start. So there will be no any downtime for this. Okay, the main advantage is high availability, high security. So when I say banking industry, this should be secure, right? All data. So they don't want to give any unauthorized person. Okay. For that, they will check the. So if you say when net banking, so when we log into the net banking, it requires customer ID and password. The customer ID and password, if authentication is successful, then only it will get login, right? So for that, this is the high security and high availability. But cost wise, this is taking more cost Oracle by comparing the other databases. Oracle is a costly product, but it is giving like that security also. It is high availability also without any zero downtime. Okay, this is everything basics only. For understanding purpose only I am telling now. So this everything is storage. Now comes to the process. Okay, for storage purpose, the data came in tabular fashion. Tabular fashion means structured data will contain the tabular fashion. This is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, this is column 4. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Structured data will store in tabular format. Okay, this is one table. Table contains, this is one column, this is one column, this is one column, this is one column. This is the column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. This is one row, this is one row, this is one row, and this is one row. In our structured data, all data will be stored in the rows columns format only. So all data will stored in the tabular format only. When you say this is the column. This is column 1, this is column 2, column 3, column 4. Like this is row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. Okay. Like this, the tabular data will be stored into the tabular format. Okay, the data is stored like this. So I have stored some bank details. Here bank number 1001 I am saying, and bank holder name is ABC, and his amount is 10,000, like 1,000, and his address is Hyderabad. Saying address is Hyderabad. Data is stored in table. Okay, I want to fetch the data. I want to see my bank account details. How to see? For fetching, what will be used? Storage purpose, we have Oracle database. But for process, we need to fetch the data, right? How to fetch the data? For processing purpose, there is two languages. Structured query language, the programming or procedural language. Now our aim is, in our class we are learning about Oracle PLSQL developer. This is our role. Oracle PLSQL developer is the role. So in Oracle there are Oracle DBA, Oracle PLSQL developer, Oracle applications developer. There are different roles. Oracle applications DBA. Okay, this is depends on the Oracle applications. Oracle is having some own application like finance application, HR application, like that. But when it comes to the database, there is two roles. One is DBA and one is developer. DBA, what it will do? Install the software, configurations, user management. User management means if any database created, they need to create new user. Backups. So every day they need to take backup. Recovery. These are the DBA tasks. And what is the developer task? Processing the data. Processing the data by using SQL and PLSQL. Okay. Now our role is PLSQL developer. To become a Oracle PLSQL developer, what are the prerequisites we required and what are the skills we required to get the job? Okay, prerequisites means when it comes to the prerequisites, to learn the SQL, no prerequisites are required because since it all are having only commands only. So if you know the syntax, syntax is mandatory. Syntax is very important. If you know the syntax, you can easily frame the code, SQL command. Okay. When it comes to the PLSQL, this is the programming language. If you know basic C language, it is okay. If you don't know also, it is okay. This is not that much hard like Java, .NET. This is everything contains the syntax only. Syntax is the main important. If you know syntax, these are the very important. Okay. So if you don't know any programming language also, you can crack easily. You can learn easily SQL and PLSQL. Now, course content. Required skills for getting job as SQL developer. Strong SQL knowledge, strong PLSQL knowledge, basics of Unix shell scripting, basics of performance tuning, Basics of DBA knowledge. DBA commands. If you know some basic commands, it's okay. DBA commands and vernacular architecture. Okay, main you should know if you know strong SQL and PLSQL knowledge, it is okay. If you know basic Unix commands, basic performance tuning, basic DB also, okay. You should know only basics of this. Okay. Now course content.
It's online.
In SQL, we have DML, DDL, DCL, DCL, operators, functions, joins. In joins, we have these are the SQL content. DML means data manipulation language. Data definition language. Transaction control language. Data control language. Now, when it comes to the PLSQL, these are the SQL and PLSQL topics, and after that, advanced topics. There are some advanced topics. Functions. Metallized use, global temporary tables versus private temporary tables. And after this, I will discuss some basic Unix commands. Unix shell scripting. And after this, I will tell some basic DBA commands also. After this, in last, I will tell some basic performance tuning topics. Okay, this is the course content. The total topics will be covered in max 35 days. Okay, daily class will be 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Starting 10 days, 8 to 9 p.m. After that, it might change to 7 to 8 p.m. Okay. Any doubts on this course content, duration? So once everything is done, I will explain the real-time projects, real-time tools, real-time scenarios. Okay, I will explain everything, real-time tools and real-time scenarios. Resume preparation. So this is our course agenda, the duration and everything. So any doubts on this? Is everyone okay with this?
Yes, bro.
So is everyone installed that software? Yesterday I have shared one video.
Yes, sir.
Is everyone done?
Yes.
No, actually, could you please send it to me?
Yeah, I will share again.
Yes, sure.
Okay. If you done software installation by tomorrow class, then once the class is completed, you can practice the same in day. Okay. The more practice is required. If you practice, you can get easily this SQL and PLSQL knowledge. Okay. So I will share the video again. If anyone is having any doubts on installation, reach out to me. So from tomorrow onwards, I will start with the actual class from SQL onwards. Okay. Okay.
Okay, bro.
Yeah. If no doubts, then I will stop the class.
What exactly prerequisites?
Prerequisites I discussed before. For SQL is nothing is there. And for PLSQL, if you know base, so could you please mute yourself?
I'm unable to hear your voice actually.
Mute yourself. Okay. Previously, I have discussed already. Prerequisites for SQL is nothing. So because this is the everything is syntactical language. So if you know syntax, it is okay. You can frame your logic. If you can frame your own logic. For PLSQL, if you know basic C, it is okay. Basic C language, it is okay. If you don't know also, it's okay. Because why I'm saying C language, if else condition, loops or loop, while loop, variable declaration. So in any language, the variable declaration, loops, if else condition, everything are same. So that's the reason I have mentioned here. If you know basic C language, it is good. You can understand easily. If you
It's
don't know
similar to
also,
the
okay, yeah. So everything is same in any language, like Java, like Python, like .NET. In every language, there will be everything. If else condition, loops condition,
yes,
variable
select.
declaration. Yeah, everything is same. So that's the reason I mentioned here. If you know basic C language, that is good. If you don't know also, it is okay. you can learn easily, but practice is mandatory. If you practice daily 1 hour or 2 hours, then you can get easily the SQL and PLSQL languages. Okay.
Okay.
Any other doubts?
No, bro. Thank you.
Okay.
No,
Daily, I
the
will
class.
record the session. I will record the
Yes,
session
yes.
daily and
Sure.
recordings. Once the class is completed, I will share the recording as well.
Yes, Raghu, thank you.
Yeah. Okay then. I'll
And the
stop the
class is
session.
not yet started, so
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
doubts.
Okay. So from tomorrow you can ask doubts.
Okay.
Okay then. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.